What's up? Come in, hit the like button, and put a one in the comments if you can hear me, if you can see me. Today has not been the day. Skynet does not want us to win out here, y'all. Skynet is a bitch. Now I can see O'Shea Do Jackson right now telling Erica, you out here struggle streaming. This is part of why I'm going on vacation after August 23rd. I'm just do it from a nice Canon camera, send it to the editors, and call it a day. We ain't playing this game no more. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Because Equifax don't want us talking about them. So they send Skynet after me. They send it after me. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Let's try this again. Hit a one, hit the like. Y'all see I'll be out here struggle streaming. Hit the like button. Okay. So here we are. Listen, y'all saw I've been dropping the credit spring cleaning class for a while now. I've been talking about it. I've been talking about the bank book, the one-page business plan. I've been talking about it forever and a day on this channel. Now you're gonna say, well, Erica, I didn't get it yet, or I don't know about it. Well, that's your problem. Because I've done everything in my power to educate people and talk about gray man tactics. What are gray man tactics? Now there's gonna be some people. Diamond Dave said this today, so it's not me, it's Diamond Dave. He said it, I'm just repeating. He was like, there are squares out here that want you to follow the rules when they're not following the rules. And this is true. This is where, and I'm gonna just go there for a second, you have all these internet men. It's not fair. I'm a nice guy. I put on my socks. I take a bath. Women should be falling all over me. That's just not how life works, right? It's not how life works. It's not fair, and it don't work, and sometimes it messes people up. Okay. So here's the issue. When it comes to credit, people are like, Erica, so what? They only take your middle score. It didn't hurt that many people. Y'all, Equifax has a history of doing this. This is not the first time. This is not the last time. Now they said, oh, it only hurt 25 points for around 300,000 consumers. Who's auditing this? Equifax could say anything right now. They could tell us, oh, it only hurt 1,000 people. Why y'all tripping? We don't know the true number of how many people were hurt by Equifax. This is their own internal audit. That's like the police. Every time they shoot somebody or do something bad, well, we determined from our own investigated practices that really no one got shot. No one died. Like, sir, but the camera says, I don't care what the camera says. I don't care what the camera says. Like this is the problem with that. And again, I'm not making fun of square people. I, for a long time, was like, if everybody just followed the rules, everything would be great. I know that is not true. You live long enough. If you live long enough, you'll get old, or you'll get older. Keyword, everybody don't grow up. And you'll realize life is not fair. Sometimes stuff is seasons to life. Sometimes you just get lucky. But 25 points, if you were somebody who wanted to buy your first home, and instead of being 640, you were 615, you couldn't get your FHA loan. You couldn't get the house you wanted. You couldn't get credit cards you wanted. Let's say you were somebody and you was at 680, and now you at 50 something. The points that you lost for a mortgage, a credit card, a car, exactly. How would they know if they lost data? So let's just go back to the fact in 2017, how many millions of people? Let me see. They had let me see. It was 150 million people's information was compromised. 150 million people. That's half of America. Information was compromised. So the company eventually, quotation marks, reached a deal to settle for $700 million to various state and federal regulators. It's the biggest settlement ever paid for our data breach. So when people sit here and tell you, Erica, if people just pay their bills and follow the rules, everything will be fine. This is not true. Part of why I put that $27 course together, and I made it so cheap, is I know this is the number one thing people have. They want it fast and they want it cheap. Erica, I want fast results, real cheap. Listen, I get you. You're having problems, you're broke, you're desperate, you have issues. What's going on? It don't matter, right? I have people taking that course, blocking their information off of multiple platforms, because let me give you a little secret for those taking the class. There's over 50 secondary reporting sites. So let's say all 50 are just reporting trash. They're all reporting trash, and it's not true. So you have to protect your information. You have to protect your information out there. And that was the whole point of me putting together that spring credit clean class. I wasn't teaching people how to do no techniques, no crazy tactics, just basic. Take my information off your list, and you better not be verifying my because it ain't accurate. Protecting yourself. That's it. That's it. So imagine somebody had a 700 credit score, but they showed it as 675. Imagine somebody was at 620 and they had them at 585. That's a major difference from 620, where they could qualify for a house, they could qualify for a car, they could qualify for a credit card, a business loan. Listen. EIDL loan. EIDL loan, y'all. Business, they were shocked. SBA was like, why aren't more business people applying for this loan? They were pissed. They're without marketing. They're pressuring banks. But guess what? The average business owner had a 617, 611 credit score. A lot of business owners had a 598 credit score. This is why I talk about in the one-page bank book class and then in the spring cleaning class, hiding your stuff, hiding you off the secondary reports, and then 2, putting together a portfolio book so that they can lend to you. A lot of these banks know business owners don't got no great credit. I can't tell y'all how many times I sat in a little bank, and they were like, well, ma'am, you sitting at 640. You worried about it? Hell no, I ain't worried about it. I made $1 million that year. Why the hell be worried about it? He laughed and approved me for that $50,000 unsecured line of credit. What a lot of people got to understand is you have to show cash, making cash. The whole little, let me use these credit cards to juice up. The only thing you should be juicing with credit cards when you have a business is your inventory and your marketing. That's it. But if you can't get access to those cards because there's incorrect information out there, when you can't get a house or apartment, Diamond Dave did a whole video on how they had him linked to some criminal bozo out there. He couldn't get the apartment he wanted in another city. What if that cost him millions of dollars? What if that cost him millions of dollars? What about the guy or girl that's moving from New York trying to come to Texas, and that 20 points on their credit messes them up from getting a good apartment? That messes them up from actually relocating. What if something's on your credit report saying you're attached to a criminal and you want to go work for the FBI? Well, now they're looking at you crazy. What if there's something on your report that's wrong? There's plenty of cases. Y'all can go look this up on your own. I don't have to read them all to you like a baby. There was one woman that was reporting her dead. It was reporting her dead. It had her mama's information incorrect. And she said, listen, enough is enough. I've asked y'all for 5 years to fix this. Y'all got me out here reported dead. The DMV don't want to give me a driver's license. This other stuff is happening. She had to sue them, and they had to pay her $2 million. Her and her poor mom for 5 years have been struggling to take care of her ailing mother because they had wrong information on her. They had her reported as deceased, y'all. You can't, how do you fight somebody that's reporting you as dead? You can't even get your daggone. you going to the DMV, they're like, ma'am, you dead. Do you understand how crazy that is? And the reason I'm yelling and I'm trying to calm down, but I want y'all to understand that there are people out there who have been completely removed off the marketplace as far as getting jobs and getting experience because of their credit report. And you got people like Value Entertainment telling people, yeah, you should be checking your people background and check their credit report. Listen, if you're hiring somebody for accounting, you're hiring somebody that's going to touch your money, for sure, check their credit report. Somebody going to go work for the FBI, going to go work Secret Service, somebody going to work with money, check their credit report, no problem. But at the end of the day, all these employers should not be checking your credit report like that, and they shouldn't be in your business. Block that information, freeze them reports. Only time you should have that stuff unfreeze is right when you try to get a loan. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. That's not financial advice. That's just my opinion. But I'm just being very clear with y'all. Again, a lot of jobs, somebody just said it, a lot of jobs these days require a financial background check. This is a huge deal. It's not even about getting a loan. Anything in tech, finance, security. There you go. Somebody said, yep, I had several clients reported as dead. Again, I show y'all that U.S. credit card guide site because on that site, it's teaching immigrants how to come here with no social security number and get credit cards. Bank of America had all that flack a couple years ago because they were allowing Hispanic illegal immigrants to get credit cards. But let's say you, Bill, that lives over here off Sugar Lane, want a credit card. They like, let me give you that social. Give me that social. Well, damn, well, why does he don't have to give his social? He don't have to give any kind of identification, and you give him a credit card. This is a problem, y'all. So let me read a little bit more of the article because I know you come here for the information. Again, and somebody tried to be like, well, Equifax ain't even check for mortgage anyway. Please stop giving misinformation. There's a thing called creditboards.org. I think it's the .org. If you go in there, you see people snitching, and I love it. People are telling you, hey, I applied for this bank, and it pulled from my Equifax, or hey, I applied to this bank, it pulled from my Transunion. Hey, I applied at this place, it pulled from this. And it'll allow you to see what banks pull from where, depending on your state, because this is very important. If you're living in Georgia, they pulling that Equifax. You living in Texas, they pulling that Experian, okay? If you live in California, they pulling TransUnion. I mean, it's just all different types, right? Again, there's a reason. You live up northeast, TransUnion. There's a reason. Again, they sell products and services to businesses, but I can't go that deep into the conversation tonight. Go look up nav.com, NAV.com. If you're in any of my business classes, I've talked to you about this a lot. Nav.com. They're looking at Experian partners and Equifax partners. Now, maybe you say, Ericka, I'm not worried about my credit scores because Dun & Bradstreet and all that stuff. 80% of banks don't give a blank about Dun & Bradstreet. Let me say that one more time. 80% of banks don't care a blank about Dun & Bradstreet. They work with who? Equifax and Experian partners. So if you have to get your data, it's coming from Equifax and Experian partners, and Equifax is out here reporting the wrong shit. Let's just say that's dangerous. Because guess what? Part of my class I was going to do earlier today was talking about when you have a business, 4 things you need: an accounting person, you need a sales retention or marketing person, you need an operations manager, and then you need a social media manager. Now, there's a lot. I'm going to say that for a whole nother video. That'll be Monday when I come back from Atlanta from InvestFest. But let me tweet you like this. You need somebody in your office every day fighting for your business and its positioning, right? So if Equifax and Experian partners are putting bad information out there, you need some eyes on your business to help you. This is part of why I have never told a lot of y'all to quit your job, because a lot of y'all make good money at your job, and you can go use some of those funds to buy and build out lines of credit, vendor lines of credit. There's a whole conversation here on this, but I'm not anti-job, but I'm anti-lack of freedom. And the reason a lot of people start a business is to get freedom, but I don't want you to be trapped by your business. I want you to be able to start a business, structure it with credit cards or loans so that you have staff and they get paid on time. They're not stressing about their paycheck and they work hard for you. Okay. So all that to say, Equifax and Experian partners have salespeople working for them. Why don't you have nobody working for you? Equifax and Experian every day running around calling businesses, convincing businesses to use their information. So if I'm Equifax, I work for Equifax, and I'm calling every business in America, convincing them you need to use my information over Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet is outdated. Use my Equifax partners' information so that you can get the best business owners to send loans to send money to. This is why when y'all saw the same people getting high PPP loans, you saw the same people getting EIDL loans, you saw the same people getting millions of dollars in credit cards, it's because they're reporting certain type of information, right? David Lee said, how much would it cost to hire a team? I'll go over that in the other video on Monday. But at the end of the day, you can start as low as part-time as a VA with $100. But also you have to think, how much can you get somebody to work part-time for you, fighting and building your teams? Probably anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a month. But we'll go over that more on Monday. Let me hit this other part of this. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I saw it and I said, what? Now, Tuesday's disclosure, right? Because they had to do a press conference. Hey, you guys, whoops. Equifax said its board voted to give CEO Mark Berger a $25 retention payment check bonus. Let me tell you that again. They gave Mark, after Tuesdays, that they done messed up all these people credit, they gave him $25 million to stay on. Where's your money for where they messed over you? Where's the money for where they messed over you? Now, not only did they give Mark $25 million, they basically told people, listen, our company is a $5 billion technology company, and they have all these processes that are being transformed. So give us a break because we're fixing our problems. So did you just hear what I said? They make $1.5 billion, or valuation company is $1.5 billion. And they can't get your information right. They just paid their CEO to stay on after this for boondoggle, $25 million to stay on, ruining his bad name. Think about it. And this is after they promised to fix all these credit reports. Let me see here. I'll give you the other one. They said, hey, it could be somewhere from 300,000 to over 12% of all people with credit scores. 12% of all Americans with credit scores, that's a high ass number. You can't just say, oops, we had 25, just 12% of people. It may have been incorrect by 25 points. It was a coding issue. It could have been over a few weeks and resorted into miscommunication. That's insane. That's insane. Right? That is not acceptable. Let me give y'all the other article. Hold on. Because I had it in here. I had it at home, but we had to be on the road. That's my whole point. They can't claim they can't pay these people out. All right. Let's see. Now, here's the compensation they're giving people for the Equifax data breach. Just $125. Because it's so many. Right? Because it's so many. So that's not even a big. So now you have to try to personally sue them for something that goes wrong with you. Right? Let me see here. Hold on. Make sure I got the, I had something in here. Now, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. When I type in, can I sue the credit bureaus? It's a lot of companies making some money. They is suing, okay? And there's a lot of another conversation, but my whole point of my conversation is I know what was Transunion. I know Transunion had one too. Let me see if I pull it up. Transunion Breach. Because I know all of them done had something. TransUnion had a breach. Hackers demanded $15 million in ransom after cracking TransUnion. This happened. Guess where it happened? March 18, 2022. They breached their data at a South African business. So, again, we can go on data. We can talk about all kind of stuff. But between Equifax, TransUnion just got a breach. And then also, TransUnion data breach leaves 54 million South Africans exposed. Right? We can keep going. Again, this gets insane. Again, if Equifax and Experian are all calling every day, calling people, getting their information, telling businesses you need to work with them, they're clearly doing it overseas too. How is your information safe? How is the information accurate or safe? They've just convinced people via their salespeople that this is the best solution for y'all. So again, then you had a data breach at T-Mobile. 15 million customers exposed. Again, hacking is going to be a big thing, unfortunately, for years to come. So they just had a thing again where Experian had a massive hack in July 11th. Y'all can just go all day on this. I can go on day of this. In 2020, Experian had a 24 million customers information breached. Who knows the information could be right? Who knows if information can be right? All right. Defamation, yeah, a character, all of it. There's one person in the Classy Climbs Facebook group. I don't know if he's still in there, but he posted and we tagged it and pinned it to the top. He went to small claims court in Alabama and sued all three bureaus. And I think they gave him a choice of like a small settlement of 10K, or they could take all this stuff off his credit report. And I think he did take everything off his credit report. If you're in the Classy Climb Facebook group, message in there, see if we can find him and see if he's still in there. But he was from Alabama. He had bought a tax lien certificate, and he also had sued the credit bureaus. Message him in their group, y'all, see if he's still in there. Somebody said Equifax ain't gonna fix no reports. Why should they? Why should they? They ain't gonna fix nothing. Sunny Day said this is why cybersecurity is so important. Businesses refuse to fund it properly. They rather just pay the fees if they get caught. Because honestly, because a lot of these companies need to restructure everything inside. They need to restructure everything inside, but you can't say that. We had somebody earlier today talking about they work for the IRS, and the IRS is looking raggedy. So again, I'm not saying that you should be disputing fake lies or things that you actually did do. You should not be doing that. That's not what I'm claiming here. I'm just saying if you're working within a system that is faulty, that there's some gray area, which people don't like me saying that, but I'm going to say it. There's some gray area with this. We should be able to dispute things that are gray area. We should say, hey, you know what? You should pay your bills. I'm not going to tell you not to pay your bills. That's not what Ericka Williams is saying on this channel whatsoever. I'm saying you should pay your bills. But I am also saying if somebody's going to report things inaccurately, right? If they're going to report things inaccurately on your behalf, and now some company is going to ask them about your information and not tell you, oh yeah, we had to deny you because your credit report said this, that. And you have no way to fight back, that's not right. So again, you have the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is CFPB, everybody. And I talk about it in almost all my financial classes. Use what they have for you to use. Complain, be a Yelper, be a Karen when it comes to your credit. Listen, William Smith, do not, Ericka Williams said it today, do not send fake police reports. Do not do it. It's never going to benefit you. It's never. They need more people in prison. The prisons are empty right now. They need more people and they're looking for you. Don't do stupid stuff. But there's plenty of legal, accurate techniques out there for you to fix your credit without you resorting to doing lies and fakeness. Okay. You know what I mean? That just is what it is. And so there's why this we're in this anger moment. And I'm gonna just say this. A lot of people want to call everything a scam and everybody's scamming and stuff like that because they're angry. They're doing everything the right way. They did A, B, C, D, F, G the right way, and they think somebody else is getting over. No one's getting over out here. If somebody gets a bunch of money with a credit card and they don't have the right mindset, trust me, they're gonna be in a world of hurt. Point blank period. They're gonna be in a world of hurt either way. So why even concern yourself with that? The people belongs to like that's what I'm saying. My whole point is the people that have enough spence to try to go create a business on paper quick enough so they can turn around and apply for the PPP loan, turn around, take that cash and be silly with it. You know, something's going on there. John Discus said, if nothing else, almost everything goes away in 7 years. But John, that's a big part of your life. If you're 25 to 7, now what is that, 32? That's a long time of your life to be driving a car you don't like, living in apartments you don't like, being around people you don't like, getting jobs you don't like. That's a long time. That's a long time. So again, I get it. We're very upset about people who are taking advantage of the system and filing police reports and doing all that. But at the end of the day, how do you justify a system that is not reporting your information correctly? 25 points may not seem like a lot, but this is what experience is telling you. What if it was 50 points and they just can't say it? What if it was 100 points? What if the average person points were messed up by 100 points? And, you know, they had all these other people messed up. Equifax ain't coming out there saying that. Equifax ain't never coming out and say, hey, man, we had actually people were messed up by 100 points. They ain't coming out and telling nobody that. Nobody. Again, this is all internal auditing. This is the information they're turning over to the government. Oh, whoops, we had a breach, y'all. Like, this is them telling them that. Again, this is like the police investigating themselves. We didn't do anything wrong. It'll be fine. They just gave out all that money, $700 million in 2017. I just want you to understand, I get the frustration out here, but this is part of. GL said, how can you tell if your credit score is incorrect? You know, it's hard to tell. Honestly, I have a video from a Christmas maybe a couple years ago that I'm gonna put on the community wall. It kind of goes over the 1, 2, 3s, very basics of you should have 3 healthy reporting accounts. And a lot of folks are saying, why don't I have a 700, 800 credit score? You're not 19 years old. Let's just go there. I was in a group of 600 students, and the average person there that was getting these 700 credit scores and $100,000 in funding right out the gate were 19 to 22 years old with nothing on their report, a thin file. If you're in your mid-30s, if you're in your 40s, 50s, you're going to have lots of stuff on your credit report. You're going to have a whole bunch of stuff on there. Bunch of information, old stuff, student loans, all kind of stuff. You need to have what are the accounts that are reporting positively and current, right? What are open? What's your utilization of those? What's your open accounts? What's your utilization? Just really those parts, right? He says, does it make sense to use your credit to buy something right now with the consensus being the values will eventually drop? Everything will drop, will be hard to monetize those assets at purchase. No, DL, that's not accurate. Everything's not going to drop. This is we have a stratosphere society, right? Let's just go there, right? Let's go there. We have a stratosphere society. We got folks up here making 100,000. And that's part of what I was going to talk about earlier, that I ran into a black millionaire and she was just chill as hell. And like, we're just having a good time. You have a stratosphere of people over here who are making $100,000 and doing well, period. Can invest in things. Some of them may be living paycheck, but majority of them, after a while, no debt, living well, they invest in, right? Then you got to squeeze $50,000 to $80,000 a year, folks. Then you got people making under $50,000 a year, which is 75 million Americans. And those folks think, I better not get into debt. All of it's going to crash. The car's going to crash. The house going to crash. Everything's crashing. That's a dangerous mindset because that's just not accurate, right? For the next 10 years, a good 10-year window. And I'm going to say this, while a lot of people, whatever the crowd is doing, do the opposite. Whatever the crowd is doing, do the opposite. So while everybody's like, I'm no longer wholesaling, I'm no longer doing any of this, there are people running into wholesaling land, wholesaling houses still, right? Because there's always going to be, for the next 15 to 20 years, hoarder houses, houses people inherit they don't want, and houses that are abandoned. You'll always have that. While people are running away from new construction homes, which is really not true because that's really where a lot of people are right now. While people are telling you, oh, builders are walking away. That's not true. That's not true. People are going into it, right? Like the funny thing is, people that I've met that are very wealthy are going dead head first, running into the wall, into new construction. Cars. I've been tracking car prices for literally 2 years now, right? 2 years now. They've kind of reset. If you want a car, you can go get one reasonably. If you want a used car, now you might not be able to go to the $5,000 lot, but you go to the $9,000 lot, right? So again, there's a lot of things that there's this kind of mindset thinking in lower classes is there ain't no food, there ain't no water, everything gonna crash, nobody has money. No. Nobody over there where you at has no money, right? But it's not, it's layers to this, right? Like I put out that event for Panama and I said, listen, the houses in Panama are 150,000 to $1 million. I had 450 people off Instagram join the email list that day. That's before I even came to YouTube and talked about it. Like, hey. A lot of builders, a lot of construction folks, a lot of small business owners. I mean, again, you had a lot of people that have money and will use their money to buy real estate. That just is what it is. The people who are like, I'm gonna wait on the crash, Ericka. 9 times out of 10, you weren't ready. You weren't gonna buy no house, no way. And you're gonna keep waiting, and you're gonna look up 10 years from now, you're gonna be in your 40s, still waiting on a crash. Then you're gonna be in your 50s, telling your family, we too old to buy a house now. Then you're gonna be in your 60s, we're looking for a retirement area. Then you're gonna be in your 70s. Boy, I wish these apartment prices quit going up. We've seen this play out. People that think the sky is falling, we know you. We know who you are. Have a great day. The people who want to move up enough for their children to live a better life and for them to live a better life is out there. It's out there. All right. That's why I say there's a lot of people like, hey, I followed all the rules and what's going on? We know you. We feel you. I get it. Congratulations on following all the rules. That's just not true. Right. Now, what did I talk about? Cattle and beef. I told y'all, go find a farmer. You should be spending your summer right now looking for farmers at the farmers market, making a list of them who do community supported agriculture, right? Community supported agriculture. What is that? They're going to either bring the box to your house or you pick up the box from the farm. The smaller farms already have unique customers. They're getting fresh meats, right? Jason, you must have just got here. Rewind the video. They're getting fresh meats. They're getting fresh everything. They'll be fine, right? So the mentality that everything's crashing, everything's falling is just not accurate, right? So that's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? You have a lot of friends telling you to wait. Again, those same friends are not going to pay your down payment on your house. Those same friends, if you didn't do anything the last 2 days, last 2 years, they weren't encouraging you to go get a new job, make more money. We already know that. Like, I'll be honest here. So at the end of the day, I would recommend, in the conclusion of this video, not to make it too long, is you should be reviewing. Now, Real Estate Trapper said that he looks at his credit report every day. I can't do that. That's crazy. That's only if you're trying to do a credit run up, like you're trying to get a bunch of lines of credit from banks. That's the only time I'd be like, yeah, look at it. But honestly, once every 2 weeks, or depending on if you're in a 90-day window to buy something, a house, a car, you about to apply for lines of credit, you could just look at that thing every 2 weeks and keep it pushing, right? There you go. You're in timeout. How about that? How about that? You're in timeout because you can rewind. All right. And so every 2 weeks I check it out, right? If you're somebody who's like, hey, in the next 30 days, I'm about to go apply for a bunch of credit, I'd be checking it every week, right? You're looking for kind of, if you put creditor monitoring on mine, so I use a couple different, Identity IQ is good. My credit scores now is good. What's that other one that's really good? I used to tell you guys about all the time. Oh, I forgot the other one, but those two are really good. And you can actually put, and nav.com has it also, where you're paying for the business boost builder. When you put buy the membership for $49 a month, it has like a $1 million coverage of, if anything happens to your credit while you're in this monitoring system, you actually can sue, and we'll actually sue on your behalf. So there, again, read the fine print of some of those websites. Like, they're actually in there to fight for you. Hell no, Credit Karma's whack. Credit Karma's a bad score. Identity IQ, creditchecktotal.com, and my free credit scores, they're like actually legit numbers, deep dive numbers. So if you check those every other week, or you have the credit monitoring on, you should be good, right? Freeze all your stuff. How often do you do a run of funding? Every 6 months? Depends on what you're doing. What's your goal? I say every 90 days, but it depends on your goal. I know there's real estate folks who are in the process of building. No, not credit wise either. That's another Vantage site. There are people who are in the process of building construction. And so every 90 days, if you actually were to check them out, they have either, and I mean, I put it to you like this. If I go to the bank and I say, hey, I've got 5 properties, I've got 5 loans, yada, yada, yada. Then in 90 days, I buy, hey, I've got 6 more land lots that are valued at this, right? Valued at this. And then I'm also building this. Like, your numbers, your data has changed. Hell no, it wasn't Credit Karma. I just said no, it wasn't Credit Karma. It was my credit check total, IdentityIQ.com, and my free credit scores. Those are the 3. Honey, I'm blocking people every day. Quit playing with me. But like, at the end of the day, those are more legit, more deep dive, and also they have $1 million coverage in their monitoring services. So a lot of people that have been buying these monitoring services, that's what it is. So you don't believe cars are going back down? I mean, we have football fields full of cars that are unsold all over the United States. So it's not that we have lack of inventory. Like, when we went to Alaska, they had a whole field of like 300 cars from Hertz that were just in a fence, locked up, just not being used, brand new cars. There's plenty of cars out there. At the end of the day, a lot of that is this false. I mean, if you ever been to Detroit, you ever been to Oklahoma or Texas, we literally have football fields of cars that have never been sold or used, like football fields worth. So there's plenty of cars out there. There's plenty, I assure you. They're not going back down to like, hey, I can get a car for 5,000, but they're going down. A lot of the cars for specific models have gone back down. But at the end of the day, like, this is a problem. Like, we really have to identify. We want people to play by the rules. We want them to not do short-term stuff with their credit. But at the same time, we have an industry that doesn't have a desire to report accurately. They don't care. They don't care if the information is wrong. They're going to pay you $100 and say, sorry about you. You know, that's a problem in the system we have to actually really address. So that's a big thing. Thank you, Jimbo, for the $2 super chat. You said, did you say Vantage site? Can you elaborate? A Vantage score is just like Credit Karma's BS. That's not a real score. Unless they tell you it's a FICO 8, FICO 9, or, you know, a certain number, FICO 3, or certain, because there's multiple scores they use for housing, cars, and just regular credit cards. Unless they tell you those differences, I don't trust that. It's a Vantage score. It's just a supposedly score. It's not a real score. All right. It's like, hey, I went on Credit Karma and they told me my score was 650. You go to the dealership, they're like, baby, it's 540. It's just not true. It's just not true. Thank you, Big Daddy Stocks, educational stores. They're just kind of like yeah, your score's this sort of. And was there any other questions? Did I miss anybody? Now's a good time to ask them as we wrap out the show. If you had any questions, now's a good time to ask them. But essentially, people have been damaged by Equifax again. They did it in 2017. They paid money, but you only got about $125, and now they're doing it again. So, how do you handle inquiries? Again, go back and look at my video with Gigi and Andy Buys Houses. Go reach out to Gigi. I'm in Equifax data breach. Sorry, Kim. It's unfortunate. DL, what was your question? If your question was what we answered at the beginning of the show, I'm not going to repeat myself at all. Is it common for a bureau to report twice a month? You could have different things. You could have a credit card that reports at the 5th and a credit card that reports on the 15th. It could happen. If I pull up my credit score and a city and state I've never been associated with came up, is that identity theft? It's possible. It's possible. I mean, honestly, if I were you, I would go through, block all my information via the class, go to Credit Spring Screening, and I'd block all my information off secondary reporting sites because they're getting that information off the secondary reporting sites. They're verifying this is you or you lived here off those sites, right? Like I had one time say, oh, this is your family member. I'm like, I don't know them. Their last name Williams, but we not related. You know what I mean? So again, you have to check before you do big purchases or big trying to apply for loans because they be having some sugarty going on. They be saying you're related to all kind of people. You ever going on yellowpages.com or whitepages.com and look for your phone number or the phone number associated with you? Man, they be having all kind of people associated with you. You got to really be, them secondary sites be putting all kind of sugarty out there. Then you got to remember, you guys have put job applications into places. And sometimes the credit bureaus have your job information on there. Hey, you worked here. And you got to be like, hey, get that information off there. Michael, that depends. It depends. And you know how they verify if that's your old address? They verify it off the secondary sites I keep telling y'all to block yourself on. There's 50 secondary sites. It only address 9 inside the course. If you block your information on there, when they go to update your credit report that month, and say you go to see a PP and say they put old information on there that's not accurate, they can knock that off. How do you get big loans? Does self-lender help? And do I have to have build a business to start a business portfolio? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, DL, no. How do you get big loans? Make big income. You're not getting a $100,000 credit card or a $100,000 loan making $20K a year. Income, right? A 20K card and under, no problem, right? Let's say you're making 30K a year, scores high, thin foul, no problem. You're going to get that. But when you're trying to apply for a $50,000 card, they ask for your income. When you're trying to apply for a $100,000 card, they ask for your income. When you're trying to apply for unsecured loans at a high number, they're going to ask for your income. So really that's income based plus credit, right? If you have why get self-lender? I'm not a big fan of the self-builder loan, but you can just go to the bank and get a secured loan if you want to do it that way. But getting a big loan is going to require income. I mean, that's just the truth of it. A lot of people on the internet are not trying to tell y'all the truth. It's going to require income. Point blank, period. There's people I know who made $50,000 in a month and a bank wouldn't give them $50,000 on a loan. But Stripe will turn around and give him $50,000. And he has a business that's making $50,000 every month. He's in cleaning and they wouldn't give him a loan. I mean, It's income. So what student loans are your questions? Tammy said a lot of the questions are answered in the course. Yep. What happened to the credit bureau reform Biden administration we're talking about earlier this year? Man, you already know Biden done lied. You know Biden ain't doing none of that. Let's stop playing. It's too much money. No, don't get a P.O. box. That doesn't work. I suggest everyone research themselves every once in a while. These sites have your name, address, phone numbers, current and former. Keep your personal profile. I'm telling y'all, like, the reason I put that course together is because several people already told me, man, I blocked myself off them sites and my score went up. I'm like, of course, because every month they just doing a little search. Again, all this data goes somewhere. Everybody acts like we're crazy for talking about your data's out there, your data, the breach, the cookies on your phone, all this stuff. This is data out there, and it's out there because these secondary sites hold it. LexisNexis is one of the sites I think we talk about inside the class. Yeah, my FICO was pretty good. I don't know if they're as good anymore. I would say my credit check total is really good. Again, my free scores is good, and identity IQ has been really good lately. Someone said I'm in school and I got a $15,000 credit card with no income. I'm afraid to use it, and don't use it unless you're gonna want to work and pay it back. Someone said it's crazy seeing people buy cars while the car market is folding. Sometimes people need a car, period. They just need a car. They won't wait. DL, you have a thin foul. I already know. If you got a 776 credit score, but they only gave you a $3,000 credit card, you got a thin foul. They are all they're gonna do is mirror what you already have. That means you don't have any credit cards of $20,000 value. If they gave you 3,000, that means they again they're only mirroring what you already have available. If you got the money like that, put 10K on a secured card. You can do it. If you got money like that, then they're gonna mirror every card after that when you apply for it is gonna mirror that 10K. I don't believe in I'm gonna wait till the car market falls. I don't believe in that. I believe if you're tracking the type of car you want, track the type of car you want and look at the different sites. Track the type of car you want, and then when you see the price kind of trending, because you can go on autotrader.com and do that. You can literally go on autotrader.com and track things. Of course, we're gonna get a social course eventually. Eventually. But yeah, so that's what I have for y'all. I mean, exactly. Wells Fargo, all these people reporting crazy crap, doing stuff out of order. That's why, look, I respect people who are against scamming and against bad people doing bad things. No problem. I'm against people doing identity theft and scamming and all that other stuff. I'm like, I hear you. I totally hear you. But at the end of the day, if you're working with a system that's faulty, that's inaccurate, that's reporting millions of people's information inaccurately, that's breaching your information every 2 minutes, you got to check it and you got to be on defense. And the average American, they just want to go to work, come home, and veg out to Netflix. They really don't want to be on guard like that. That's why I said if it's a 90-day window where you're getting ready to apply for something, be on guard. Look at that thing. Fight for it. Make sure they ain't putting stuff on there they ain't supposed to be on there. For sure. For sure. But other than that, there you go. Somebody said they just looked it up. Good luck. I mean, again, my whole point of this channel is to educate people, expose people to information, because every day I walk out my house, somebody's like, I never knew that. Nobody told me that. Y'all get on that phone and you look for Big Booty Betty. If you look for Big Booty Betty as hard as you look for some of this other information, y'all would be dangerous. And the government knows that. That's why they throw all this distraction at you. Because if you really got on this phone and was like, hey, I don't like that, If you just tuned in, sorry about you. Got to rewatch the channel. We're not going to restart a show just for one person. I apologize. What's the name of the course? The course is the Spring Funding Course. How to Fight in a Drought. Go look it up on the class, classyclimbers.com. I also have it tagged in the top. Freedom requires responsibility. That's the thing people don't want. They don't want that part. So look, you guys, this is your girl Ericka, Classy Climb Blog. I wish you well out there. Keep fighting the good fight, okay? But also check your credit scores. Again, Equifax done got loose on you again. Your information is not going to be accurate. Your scores aren't accurate. 90% of the time, they aren't. That's just my 2 cents on there, and I get it. People are like, but what about the rules? I want you to follow the rules at all times, okay? Oh, y'all trying to be, are we doing this? And again, putting time out. There you go. You guys have a wonderful night. We're time out right as we go out of here. This is your girl Ericka from the Classic Climb Blog. If I haven't seen you, August 19th and 20th is the boat party in Austin, Texas. We will have a winery on lockdown for 4 hours. You'll actually have a charter bus pick you up from Austin area, domain area. For those who already purchased a ticket, we've already put your information in there. Get a pickup and a drop back off. You dig? You dig? And then also on that Saturday, we will be going over to the Lake Travis as we usually do and get on a boat, enjoy ourselves, have a great night. Okay? And then also October 13th through 15th, we will be in Panama City, Panama. It's for the real heavy hitters. It's almost going to be a mastermind / environment. Really good environment, really good touring of property. We will have, for those who can stay an extra day, I would recommend we're going to go fly in Tide for 1 hour, a quick flight over to Boquete, Panama, to check out a coffee farm and a cacao farm. And you can actually invest in that too. So we got some opportunities out there for y'all. But anyways, this is your girl Ericka, Classy Climb Blog. Have a wonderful night.